Welcome to Blueprint Radio. I'm your host, Martin Williams. Here we help you create a blueprint for your life. So let's build. Thank you for tuning in to the Blueprint Radio podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All the links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast with an S, or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. So it's been a while since I've done a podcast. Thank you for coming back and listening. Been in the midst of moving, and we are pretty much done. There's a couple things we need to clean up, but most of everything is completed, so I'm able to kind of get back to the things that I was doing before the move, which includes this podcast. So again, thank you for jumping on with me. So I was doing a series on the Power of Decision book. I will continue that series in a future podcast, but I wanted to drop this one-off podcast today of something that I've been noticing happening all around the country for a while. So, we're coming... Well, I guess depending on who you ask, we're coming out of a pandemic, and there are we're certainly not out of the woods yet, because we have the Delta variant, and there may be other variants coming down the line, right? But it seems, and I'm using air quotes here, it seems that the worst of the pandemic is over. And right now we're adjusting to a new normal, understanding that things are never going to be the way that they were before. We just live in a different time. We live in a different era. And everything that comes along with that, the life changes that come along with that. And with that, what has happened is that people have discovered that they can do a lot more things to make money than perhaps they could before, or perhaps they thought they could before. So much so that employers are having a really difficult time keeping, and in other cases, finding employees to take jobs. I go to Dunkin' Donuts pretty much on a daily basis, and I've noticed some of the signs, and I get a chuckle out of it, that they are offering all kinds of bonuses for people to come and work for them. I've seen bonuses as high as $100 a week to basically come and don't quit, right? I mean, these companies are paying $50 to $100 a week just for people to stay on the job. And I've never seen that before, ever, right? And then you're seeing the bonuses have gotten as high as $2,000, just not Dunkin' Donuts, but in other places. But the Dunkin' Donuts thing was interesting because they listed out all these different bonuses. They have paid time off, and weekly bonuses, attendance bonuses, and they're still trying to find people, which is it's truly astonishing. I've never seen anything like this. But why is this happening? Well, when you look at it through spiritual eyes, you're not really that surprised that is happening, because it's scripture. It's something that was supposed to happen. It's prophecy, right? In the Bible, Jesus Christ said that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few, right? There's not enough people to bring in the harvest. Now, obviously, he was speaking from a spiritual context, but truth is truth, and truth rings true, not just in a spiritual level, but on a natural level. And really what people are awakening to is that there was never any shortage to begin with. Most shortages are created, they're man-made, right? For example, you have farmers who, burn crops, throw away food, right? Instead of, maybe giving it away. And, certainly, I understand that, as a farmer, it may be hard to distribute that. It may be hard to get that food to where it's needed. But the bottom line is that, there are a lot of farmers who throw away food, and not only that, they're subsidized to do so because if they produce too much food, then they have to basically charge a lower price and make less money. So I understand it from an economic perspective, but we have people in this country who go hungry every day. There are people in this country who starve, and are barely able to eat in the same country where people are throwing food away, right? So is there really a shortage, right? I remember when I was looking for work and I couldn't find anything in my field, I was trying to get back to work after my daughter was born, and it was very difficult for me to find a job. It took months for me to find something that was in my field, and I suppose I could have worked at a gas station or something. I suppose I could have did that, but the bottom line is that I was making more in unemployment than I would have been at that gas station. So at the time, it didn't make sense for me to do that. But in the midst of that, you think, well, I guess there's just no jobs right now. And that might be true. But the harvest was still plenty, even in that moment. I could have done something else, even if it meant, starting my own business, even if it meant, doing websites and things like that, which I did. I did a website or two while I was unemployed. But the problem was never the lack of work or the lack of harvest or the lack of abundance. And that's really the point that I'm getting to with this. And what people are awakening to is that, hey, I have options. Hey, there's an abundance of things that I can do, and I don't have to stand in front of a cash register. I don't have to, do something that I'm not crazy about. And more and more people are awakening to that. And I think it's a beautiful thing. But what you want to understand is that even in this case, this may not always last, right? Because many corporations and entities create shortages, right? So what a lot of companies might end up doing in response to this, they may end up, just automating everything. And instead of going into Dunkin' Donuts and seeing a bunch of people, seeing a bunch of people standing in front of a register, it just may be one person handing you your food, right? But machines making the sandwiches or making the donuts or the coffee or what have you. The technology already is here. Like, it's not something that would take a huge, an innovative leap, right? So the laborers are few, okay? So how does this translate for you, right? Because you might be working now. Is there something that you want to do, right? Is there something that you really want to do? Maybe you want to be a YouTuber. Maybe you want to be a content creator. Maybe you want to travel. I don't know what it is, right? Understand that the harvest is plenty. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of opportunities. And this has always been the case. It's just that we believe something different, right? We believed in shortage. Shortage is something that you have to believe in order for it to be true for you. But if it's not true for one person on the earth, if one person on the earth doesn't experience shortage, then shortage is not an ultimate truth. Therefore, you don't have to live by it. There are few ultimate truths in life, okay? An ultimate truth is something that affects everyone, okay? An ultimate truth is that we're born and that we die, right? we are basically passing through Earth. That is true for every single person. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how nice your house is. I don't care who your parents were or weren't. It doesn't matter how much education you have. We are born and we die. Those are ultimate truths, right? Pretty much everything else is up to interpretation, right? And what happens a lot of times is that people are living their lives based on interpretive truths, right? That, there's shortage, there's not enough money, there's not enough opportunities, there's not enough, good people out here. If maybe you're single and you're saying there's no good women out here, or if you're a woman, there's no good women out here, right? These are all interpretive truths. These are beliefs, right? That's a belief. The bottom line is that you only need one person, and there's billions of people in the earth. So you just got to find that one person, right? So it's not about, finding a million good people. It's about finding one good person that you can build a life with, okay? So it's thinking abundantly, right? Now, in order for you to tap into the harvest, you have to be a laborer. Now, sometimes people don't want to work. They don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to work on their business. They don't want to work on their craft. But that's how you connect to the harvest, right? So, let's say that you want to be that YouTuber, right? Are you working on your act, right? Are you working on your content? Are you working on how you, present yourself to the world? Are you someone who's interesting, right? Are you improving that part of yourself? Because as you labor, right, you connect to the harvest. See, the harvest is not for people who don't work. Okay, I got to say that again. The harvest is not for people who don't work. Okay, there are a lot of people who want the harvest, but they don't want to do the work. And it's not just work as we know it, as a job. People want harvest, but they don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to work on their tact. They don't want to work on their, like their mindset or their past. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff that's happened to you in the past is you're carrying it, but you're not doing the work, right? My wife is a therapist, and she talks a lot about doing the work, right? You got to do the work if you want the harvest, okay? So you have to ask yourself, well, what do I need to work on? Okay, maybe I need to work on, my health and exercising more and eating better, right? What do I need to work on? Maybe I need to work on, positioning myself for a better job and not being upset when I get passed over for promotion when I don't do anything to prepare myself for the promotion, okay? A lot of people want promotion, but they don't read, they don't study, they don't improve themselves by taking courses. They don't do the things that will position themselves for a promotion. A lot of people want more business, but they're not trying to figure out what is it that my customers want? What do clients want? Right? The harvest is for the laborers. Okay? So my takeaway here is, number one, there's plenty of harvest. Don't ever again think that there's not enough money in the world or there's not enough opportunities in the world. It's nonsense. There's plenty of opportunities in the world, but it's only reserved for those who will labor to get them. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So thanks so much for listening. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to Blueprint Radio. For more information on Martin Williams coaching and products, please go to guidedexpressions.com or visit me on Facebook as well as Instagram.